So now that I finally completed Secret of the Mimic, I really wanted to make this video for quite some time where I wanted to discuss and try and question if you can beat Five Nights at Freddy's every single game without sound, that is. Now originally I was gonna remake this video and play the Joy of Creation story mode without sound and see if I could beat it, but I feel like that wouldn't work for me, so I thought that this was gonna be better. So this is honestly quite simple. Let's start with FNAF 1. I wouldn't exactly say that it requires a lot of sound, but if you're playing for the very first time, haven't seen any videos regarding it whatsoever, you may need a little guide on some things such as Foxy, Freddy, like when Freddy moves. But then again, I mean, you can just check the cameras for Freddy, and for Foxy I wouldn't say it's entirely accurate because sometimes his singing just happens at some random time, and then he doesn't even move. Sometimes he just stays still in his pirate cove. So I wouldn't say that FNAF 1 requires too much sound. I think you can actually kind of beat it without any struggle, but there may be some point where you might need to hear something, such as when if Bonnie or Chica or Foxy walks away from the door. But then again, you can kind of check the light, so I'm pretty sure it's not exactly a big deal. Now let's start with FNAF 2. Now FNAF 2 has a lot more characters, and you got the whole Wizards, you got the toy animatronics. Now honestly, I would say it's a big 50-50 on this one, because you do have Mangle, and then you do have the ambient where when a withered or an animatronic is near you, it starts playing some random sound, and sometimes that might actually be very helpful. Sometimes you may need it, sometimes you may not. I mean, sometimes you can just look at the camera, and even if you hold the camera up and one of the animatronic is just staring at you right from the desk, you won't be able to hear it even while you're on the cameras. So it really wouldn't matter. So I really don't think you would also need a lot for FNAF 2 as well. I feel like maybe you could beat it with a 50-50 chance. Plus, if you want to say the music box, well, honestly the music box doesn't really have a cue to tell you when it's about to go down. The only way is through the warning sign, and yeah, there's no other sound for that. So moving on to FNAF 3. FNAF 3, I would say it requires a stronger use of using sound, because number one, if you can't find Springtrap anywhere, there's a high chance he may as well be in the vents, because there is a sound cue for that, and I do believe that there's a sound cue for when he moves. I feel like there's another use for sound, but I don't really remember. I doubt there is anything. For the phantoms, no, the phantoms are fine. You just have to avoid them at all costs, and I'm pretty sure they're avoidable quite easily as well, considering they go through certain places that we don't even look at. Most of the times we're just looking around the entrances or at the exit where they don't even appear at all. So I'd say FNAF 3 requires a much higher chance of sound, but not compared to FNAF 4, because FNAF 4 has got to be the embodiment of requiring sound. Now honestly, I don't think I need to explain this, but for FNAF 4, if you want to know if an animatronic is at your door or not, you're gonna have to listen for breathing, and that is something I could never do when I played FNAF 4 for the first time. But then again, I was very young, so maybe if I played around this time, I'd begin to understand it a little more. But this game is something you cannot beat without sound. You literally need ears for this. So if you're playing without sound, there's a high chance you might not survive. But I think, if I'm not wrong, there is a flicker of light that tells you when the animatronic appears at your door or not. But then again, there's a problem of telling if they have left yet or not, because there is a sound cue that tells you if they've left the door you're at right now. And as for the cupboard area for Foxy, I don't really remember. Maybe it requires some sound. I actually do not remember. Maybe you just have to keep flashing him or something. I think that was how it went. I haven't played FNAF 4 in a long time, nor seen it in a long time, so I assume that's the strategy you have to go with for the cupboard. Now for FNAF 5, I can't say I remember. No, yes, you definitely need sound for this one. There are some parts. Yes, there's Ballora Gallery. You definitely need sound for that, because if you can't hear her song, you basically die. And when her and there's no other indication which tells you that you're getting closer to Ballora, or Ballora is getting closer to you. At least from what I believe. I don't remember if there was ever an indicator that tells you if you're close to her or not. So you cannot make it past at that point without sound whatsoever. And let's say you do. Even if you do make it past that point, I don't think you will be able to beat the last night, because during the last night, it's either Circus Baby or NR, whoever it is, that tells you where you gotta go. You gotta go left, right, straight. It's honestly kind of confusing without sound. At least you wouldn't be able to beat it without sound whatsoever. So yeah, you cannot beat Sister Location without sound whatsoever. If you play without sound, you're done for. Now for FNAF 6, I haven't played that one in a long time either, but from what I do remember, you do pretty much have to listen for some audio cues, I think. I mean, I don't remember. I didn't play FNAF 6 that much. I only remember the ending of all things and the salvaging. Yeah, I think that the salvaging doesn't exactly require that much sound, but then again, it's kind of hard. It'll be kind of hard to tell when the cassette ends, like the cassette tape that plays random sound, I guess, or maybe I guess that's what I'm assuming. And then there's basically the main office area where you gotta do some tasks and animatronics will hunt you at the same time. And I think you had to listen for breathing as well, or just some random movements. And well, if you obviously play without sound, you wouldn't be able to tell if they're closer or if they're going ahead. But then again, there's that detector that'll tell you if you're close. But then again, you can't look at the vent and at the same time flash your flashlight at the animatronic. Now for Ultimate Custom Night, I do not remember this one that much, but I definitely remember Chica. And if I think there was a mechanic for her, if she gets tired of the same song being played, she will attack you. And basically, if of course you can't see what happens in the kitchen, so you'll definitely require sound for that. Like if you play without sound, you won't be able to tell when she stops using her pots and pans. And I'm pretty sure that there's more characters that require sound that I don't really remember. But even then, I think you have no chance of beating Ultimate Custom Night without sound, unless of course you use other characters. It really just depends at this point. So it's just like a dependent. It's more dependent. As for Security Breach, I would say I'm not exactly sure. I feel like you may be able to beat it without sound, because if you remember, there is an indicator for crouching which tells you when the enemy is getting closer to you or when it spotted you. Oh yeah, it's when it spotted you. It's not gaining any closer. And you can also kind of see your screen shake when the animatronic steps nearby. So there is that. So I'd say Security Breach does like I think you do have a chance of beating it without sound, but it's a very difficult one. And same could go for Secret of the Mimic as well, because you may not be able to tell when something has alerted you in the big top room, or if you've even been spotted at all, because there are some sound cues in which tell you that the mimic has crawled into a suit and has started walking. But there are some signs, like some lag, that may or may not appear. It appeared for me, but probably because my computer isn't exactly that strong, so that could explain why. But yeah, anyways, I think for Secret of the Mimic, it is also a very difficult chance compared to Security Breach. It may be worse, but I do think that you can most likely beat Secret of the Mimic without sound. But yeah, anyways, that's my conclusion for the whole which FNAF game you can beat without sound on. And you let me know if I'm wrong or right or something, because I do feel like this is something appropriate. But then again, there are some games I haven't played in a long time, so I could be either wrong or right in this situation.